Hey YouTubers, this is Old John. Today I'm going to make a video of my attempt to replace some rotting molding on this door that I'm showing you. This door is on the east side of the garage and is subject to rain. The ground outside is a little flat. There is a slope to the concrete, but somehow water has managed to wick into the bottom of this molding. Okay, so you can see the concrete's fairly close to the bottom of the threshold, and it does slope this way, but I think it's the rainwater is getting a little bit slowed down. Plus, there's very little eave over it, so the rain can hit this side pretty profusely when it's coming from the east. At any rate, the brick molding here is really rotted. I've been breaking off pieces as I prepare to replace it. And normally you have, probably about a 4-inch piece here, but I have 2x6 walls. So normally you have one wide piece, but since this is 2x6, they put this piece and this piece. And I went to Home Depot, and they now have, this is called brick molding. This is called your brick molding. And they now have this made out of PVC. So I'm going to replace this with PVC. The prices are getting competitive with wood, and a lot of builders are using PVC, especially in this case because it's going to withstand the moisture. That's step one of this video, cutting the boards. Part two, I'll put the new ones on. Okay, there's the piece ready to be put in, but I've got to notch out an area here, but this angle ended up being about 3 degrees, but fits tight. Of course, I'll caulk it. And there again, I've got to notch it here, along here, to fit over this piece. Either that or I'd have to cut this piece back, but I don't think I will. And then it'll go in pretty far. May have to do a little bit of shimming back here. Probably remove this foam stuff too. And then I'll have to put the brick molding on here, of course. Okay, I'm going to cut a piece of weather treated board. It's 1.5 inches thick, and going to try to cut the end off and square it off. Okay, I think that's about where I want to be. Well, I had to use 2 hands on this, but I just basically cut this board down to 4.5 on one edge. Okay, so this right edge here is going to be the threshold, and I marked off the dimensions here of about 9 15/16 this length, and 10 and about 1/8 on this side, and I locked it down here and then rotated the angle, and it's about 4 degrees. I watched a video and the guy said they're usually around 5 degrees, so in that area. So I'm going to trim this piece now. Okay, here's how the piece is going to basically fit in here, but I need to notch out here because I want this to line up here, so I got to notch out for this. I'll do that on my circular saw. Okay, so we have to cut this notch out of this, and I'm going to use my table saw here to do this. I have to trim that just a little bit, but that'll get me in the ballpark. Okay, there it is. Undercut slightly, because I'd rather be able to chisel out some of it if I have to. Okay, my last cut is going to be a piece of PVC that I'm using for a brick molding. Brick molding is plastic PVC. Okay, see, this is about 1 inch thick, a little over 1 inch on this side. Okay, I cleaned this out, and I cut the edge off of this, and I just used a wood chisel, just going like this and going all the way down, got this even. Okay, I have a dilemma here. This this frame board goes in only this deep, but then there's this foam insulation that is covering the board even further back. So I just used a simple piece of wood here and determined where this needs to end up at the bottom, and drew a line across here. and then this brick molding comes into here. So there's a jog right here. But anyway, so I measured back from here the thickness of my board that I cut. I'm going to try to, I made a line here. I'm going to try to cut this piece back and then shim here. Sorry for that, that's my air conditioner compressor coming on. So I'm cutting this with just my X-Acto blade. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, got that trim back. If you remember, I had put a cut here to go over this white piece. Need a shim along there. The nail will be maybe slightly too long. You may have to go with a little shorter nail on the bottom there, but that's pretty close to what we want. I have my brick molding here in this plastic showed you earlier. It's going to go right here. Needs to be trimmed on the bottom though a little bit, and needs to be on an angle also, so I'll go do that now. Okay, this is the way it's gonna go. And I do some caulking here. Use a DAP product. It's clear, waterproof window and door trim sealant, and composite wood and PVC trim board. So make sure it's compatible with PVC, especially for this plastic brick molding. So I'm just going to put some in here. Of course, we'll put along the edges too. Something like that. Use my straight edge here to line it up. Approximately like that. Try this size headless nail. And also we'll put a nail in from the side here. So I'll try to drill a couple holes here. I can put soap on these nails, makes them a little more frictionless. Another one at the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna put this nail in, put some soap on it. It'll tie it into the siding edge piece. And then caulk it. Not the best caulker in the world. Of course, this will be painted. Okay, need to clean it up a little bit, but that's essentially it. YouTubers, placed trim and brick molding, and this is treated lumber, so that should be less likely to rot if the water gets back to there. Hopefully the brick molding will prevent that. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up